Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another part in my revisiting series. So this is the fourth, fifth, somewhere around there of these that I've done where I pull out an older palette to see how I think about it now that it's been out for a while, now that I've had it for a while. I've done a few Natasha Denona palettes and a couple other palettes before where it's like, okay, I've had this for a couple of years now. What do I think about it? Do I still use it? Do I still love it? Today's video is going to be on Pat McGrath's Sublime palette. So this is part of her original trilogy that came out when the brand launched, or shortly after the brand launched. I did not pick this up when it was brand new, but I did get it sometime last year. I kind of think of this as more of a fall color story, but I did want to use it today and see what I think about it at, midsummer, because I haven't used it in quite a while. So I'm gonna do an eye look with this. I've done many before in the past. So I'm gonna do an eye look, see what I think, and see if it still makes me happy and still brings me joy. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup. And I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to the content I make just because of my training and personality. And I have new videos every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. Okay, so I am pre-filming all of these videos that I'm pre-filming. I'm adding this little disclaimer. I am pre-filming this because I'm going to be out of the country for 2 weeks, so I will be very slow to respond to comments. I will try, and I will read some of them, but I try to respond. I'm small enough that I try to respond to every comment I get, so if I don't respond right away, I apologize. I will get to them eventually, but I'm going to be in 3 countries over the next 2 weeks. So I'm not gonna have a lot of time for YouTube stuff, but I did wanna have content while I was gone. So I already did my base makeup. It's my go-to makeup lately. It's kind of similar to some of the other ones that I've worn in other pre-filmed things. So I'll have everything linked in the description box like normal. It's a little bit of the Mario bronzer, Victoria Beckham blush, Haus Labs concealer. That's it. A little bit of Glow Lust from Auric and brow gel. That's all I've got on right now. And then lip glosses, Victoria Beckham. This is Aperitivo, which is like a rose color. So this is one of Pat McGrath's Motherships. These retail for like $128. They used to be $125, I believe. I have not paid full price for any of them though, and I don't think anybody should. She has enough sales. There's enough things. Like, you shouldn't pay full price unless you absolutely want to. This is part of her original trilogy of ones that came out. So there was Subliminal, which is the cool toned one, Sublime, which is warmer toned, and then Subversive, which is a little more dark and sparkly. I have all of them but the 2 Divine Rose palettes. I have the rest of the Motherships, so I enjoy these a lot. They're some of my favorite formulas, but I haven't used this one as much as the others, and I haven't used it in like at least 6 months. So I want to sit down, play with it, and see what I think, on this random July day. I think I got this one for like 80 bucks or something. I definitely think they're worth that. And some of them I've gotten for even cheaper because of good sales. But if you haven't seen this one, this is the color story. Like I said in the intro, this one kind of makes me think of fall. It's warm, but not like super warm. You've got these like a warm brown. You've got a rosy tone. You've got a copper, a nice bronzy brown. I love these for every day. And then you've got the special shades over here with the green and the pinks. Not sure what I'm gonna do today. My go-to daily look with something like this lately would just be to put like this all over the lid and blend it out and maybe stick with that. Maybe put one of the lighter shades on too, but I'm gonna do a little bit more today. I'm gonna start with my NARS eyeshadow base. I use an eye primer with everything because I do have oily eyelids. So I'm gonna put this on and then we'll start. Okay, so I put my eye base on. While you're watching this, I will be in Europe. I think I already filmed a get ready with me talking about what I'm taking with me. I don't know how much I said, but I know we're doing, my partner is currently in Scotland for some work, and then we're doing Paris, London, and Amsterdam with at least 3 or 4 days in each place. So it's gonna be busy. The majority of our time will be in London, which will be nice because I've been to Heathrow on my way to work. I worked on a dig in Germany, and I stopped in Heathrow on the way either way, but I've never actually been outside of Heathrow. And then I've been to Paris, but I was an exchange student in high school, but that was almost 20 years ago. So it's been a while. And even Germany was a decade ago. That was when I was working in archaeology, not evolutionary biology. So I am going to, I think, this is a pretty dark shadow. Some people I think struggle with it, but I think if you pick up just a light amount, it does work. I will often start with one of the shimmers and then just buff the edges around with this, but I think I'm gonna pick up a big fluffy brush, pick up a little bit of that, and just tap a little bit, tap off. This brush is a little stained, but it is clean and wiped off. And I'm gonna start it out here because it is darker and just kind of lightly dust that into the crease. So you can see you can get a pretty light tone. I literally went dip and then tapped off. And so you can build these up and shear them out. As part of why I like Pat McGrath's matte formula. But they do start a little more pigmented than something like a Viseart or, I don't know, a lot of other shadows. They do start a little more pigmented, but it is a black-owned beauty brand and a black makeup artist. So I think by having the pigmentation start a little bit higher, but still be buildable and sheer and be able to sheer it out, it makes it a little bit more versatile for more techniques, more skin tones. So I'm just using, this is a really big fluffy brush. This is a 15 Max from Refer. So it's really big and fluffy, and it has a little bit of density, but a lot of movement and fluff to it. But it's not as, like, this is one from Fenty Cosmetica, and you can see it's a little less big, but it's a little longer, but this has a little bit more bend to it and a little more flimsy, not flimsy, but you know, like, it's a little flimsier. This is a little more dense, but it's fluffier overall, so it gives a nice blend. So I like that for every day. I mean, if I wanted to go really smoky, I would pack it on the lid and blend the edges, but for every day, this is where I would like it. So I'm gonna do this on the other side real quick. Okay, so that is all blended out. This is the shade Dark, so you can get dark with it, and you can see a little bit of that on the outer corner, but it doesn't have to be dark. I think I want to use the green. I'm just feeling the green today, but I'm not sure. It is, you know, very in your face. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of the bronze down first though. If you want a really nice monochromatic, like rosy look, these would be really nice together. But I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the brown bronzy shade. This is a Sonia GT2 from her Tradition set. It's goat hair as well, but it has the persimmon dye on it. This is the kind of brush I like to use with this kind of a shimmer. So for a very sparkly shimmer, I'll use something really flat like this from Refer. But for something like that's a little creamier and a little more satin, I often will go in with a slightly fluffier one like this so I can kind of blend the edges at the same time. I do really love this shade. I know it's really boring shade, but it's so pretty for every day. If you didn't want the rosiness of this, or you were worried it would be too dark, I would just use bronzer. Put a little bronzer down and blend this into it. Oh, yeah, it's so pretty. I have other brown bronzes like this, but this I think still might be my favorite. It's so creamy, it blends so nicely, and but it still has a decent amount of shine on the lid. I think this is already a yes, I still love it situation. Do I want to use the green? I do really like that it has a bit of a purpley blackened base, so it does blend into this really well. Sure, let's just do the green. I probably could have skipped the brown. So this is Blitz Emerald. So you can see it's very green there, and then it's got a bit of a purpley base if I hold it like this and there's no light reflecting on it, kind of blackened purple. I feel the Blitz formula works best. Either a tacky base works really well to make it really shiny, but in general, pick up a little bit with your finger and then kind of press it in. So this could be your everyday look, like wear this to work and then add this if you were going out afterwards, if you didn't want to wear this to work. But I think patting it into the brown bronze shade, I think it's technically a bronze, but it's not as gold as some. It's just called, the shade is Iconic. We'll also tone down the green a little bit. Putting this green directly on primer or a tacky base is gonna make it really, really pop. And blending it, using a brush would make it even more so, but tapping it over the brown subdues it just a little bit. I love it. Okay, I'm glad I did this. Pick up a little bit and do the other side as well. And I'm pressing for a second and letting the warmth of my finger and my eyelid melt the two together. I think that's your best bet with these formulas if you want to avoid fallout. I've seen a lot of people say they get a lot of fallout with these, and I don't think I really ever have, but I generally do my makeup this way. But if I blend it out on the back of my hand, you can see that darkened base. So you can buff it if you don't mind a little bit of sparkle, like if you're doing your eyes first. I'm just gonna use the same brush and kind of make sure the edges are diffused. Like right here, it didn't quite. This side really blended in with the matte. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of the matte on this brush and make sure everything's diffused. Okay, I like that. And if you wanna lighten it a little bit, you do have this pink shade. This is Astral Ghost Orchid, and this is VR Nectar. VR Nectar is a gold to peach. Love it for summertime, actually, this kind of a shade. You can see that peach base with the pink flip. I think I might take a little bit of Astral Ghost, which is one of the really glittery transformative shades. I might take a little bit just right here. It's a pretty smoky eye right now, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of that pink twinkle on the inner part of my lid. These kind of twinkly shades look really pretty when you go out at night, like if you're in a bar or restaurant, well, depending on the light of the restaurant or the bar. You can see it's much less opaque. It's got that sheer base, and then it's much more sparkly than these. This has sparkle, but this is like just sparkle. Okay. I really like that. I'm gonna wipe my hands off real quick. Okay, I really like this. I could stop here. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this Skin Show shade. This is Skin Show Glow. I'm gonna use the same brush, but I just picked up the other side. I'm just picking up a very light dusting of that. And I'm gonna put it right here in the inner corner and right underneath, just for a little bit of brightness. I don't always do a brighter inner corner. And this is one of those shades that you could use all over your eye as well. Or not all over your eye, but all over your face, like as a highlighter. Okay, I really like that. I think I'm gonna add some mascara real quick. I'm gonna use my Lisa Eldridge, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and this is the finished look. Also, Bean decided to eat dinner, so she is, well, her breakfast. So she's over there crunching, if you hear that. I really like this look. It is smoky, but this is the kind of like daily smoke. Like I think on a day-to-day to work, I would probably wear the brown the most, but I've definitely worn this to work without the extra sparkle that I added, and I love it. I do think if you wanted something brighter, I could have used either of these and gone more gold and bright, but I like a smoky eye. I like a look like this. I love this. I'm still very happy that I have this. I do think this is more of a little bit of a fall palette because it is a little bit smokier. And when it's hot out, like today it's only 85, but it's been like 90 something. And if I was on the East Coast, it would also be humid. The one thing I don't miss about living in the Northeast is the humidity. Being in Seattle, it's humid in the winter, but it's not really humid in the summer. Summers are dry, warm. Like, I love it in the summer here. But in the humidity, I don't think I'd want to wear this much makeup. And I think that's why I think of this as a fall palette, and I'm excited to play with this more when I get back from Europe. Like, I get back at the end of this month, and I'll be back for August, but I feel like start September, October is when it starts to get cold here. I will be wearing this a lot. So this is a revisiting that so the conclusion of, do I still love this, is yes, I still really love this. I love Pat McGrath's formulas. I think for me, this is totally worth it. I mean, I paid like 80 something, so it was 100% worth it. But I don't think this is for everyone. This is one of her older palettes. The shades in her newer palettes are definitely more sparkly than these. Although you don't get shades like this one as much anymore. I love her matte formula. I love her like standard metallic formula. I know Tom decluttered or like depotted all of their Pat McGrath palettes, and it's not a formula that they love, like the mattes aren't. But for me, and my skin tone and my way of doing makeup, I love this, and I'm very happy I still have it. So I think that is everything for today. Let me know what you think. Do you have this palette? Do you still use it if you bought it? I know my friend Kelly bought it. This was like her first Pat McGrath palette, or Mothership, I should say. And I think she liked it but didn't love it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is this one you have, one you've thought about? Do you have any of them? I'd love to talk to you all in the comments below. Like I said, I'm gonna be very slow to respond to these for a little while, but I will be back at the end of July and free to actually catch up on things. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. I will see you all in my next video.